Hey all, Kunik here, back with some more RPG horror stories. I've got two stories for you all today. The first story revolves around a player who considers himself a bit of a veteran, and also apparently the main character of the campaign. In the second story, we have a dungeon master that really dislikes the fact that his party is mostly that of charisma-based characters. So, without further ado, let's get on with the stories and roll for initiative. Our group had been doing an Out of the Abyss campaign that our DM had homebrewed a little. We were all fairly new to D&D at the time. For most of us, including the DM, this was only our fourth campaign. An acquaintance of the DM asked to join the campaign. He was apparently a D&D veteran, and we thought it might be good to have someone with a little more experience since Out of the Abyss was said to be hard for new DMs. We will call this new guy MC, since he thought of himself as the main character. The power gaming started off tame at first, excessive min-maxing, arguing with the DM a lot to make things go his way, constantly trying to steer the party where he wanted to go, demanding certain players take skills or spells to make him stronger in a fight, etc. MC also didn't enjoy role-playing very much. Things got worse when MC started splitting away from the party to stumble upon things. MC would go and find the exact spot an item was hidden before the story led us there. MC would slaughter NPCs in cold blood that were supposed to betray us later on, or to get items that he had no business knowing they would have. MC would provide feeble excuses like, "My character knew they were lying," or "My character would know they had something." After a while, the DM started refusing to let him wander his way into breaking the story, which resulted in several arguments and a lot of, actually, from the MC. The breaking point came when MC sprinted off to get bitten by a were-rat to get damage immunity. MC then spent the next hour arguing with all of us as to why he wouldn't have any negative consequences to lycanthropy because of his race or warlock patron or some other crap. The DM eventually settled it by saying they would figure it out before the next session, and we should keep playing. Not 30 minutes later, MC runs out to try and trigger the big bad evil guy's ambush before it was meant to happen. The DM intervened by having two revenants of NPCs MC had killed ambush him instead. MC's precious min-maxed character was slaughtered, and it brought on more arguing until we ended the session that night. MC wasn't invited to any more sessions. The DM confided in me later that he thinks MC had taken and read his campaign notes at some point because there was way too much he knew was going to happen. MC also openly admitted to reading the DM campaign book to get the upper hand. Rest of the campaign was fun though. 10 out of 10. Would go insane to Demigorgon again. Yeah, let it be known that hell hath no fury like a DM who's had his notes read. Honestly, I don't know what he was expecting from this. He said he was a veteran, he joined his friend's campaign. You would think he would treat things a little bit better than that, but yeah. I think the DM and the party probably could have talked to him a bit to see if they can talk him out of doing that, but at the same time, they thought of themselves as noobs compared to him, so they may not have felt it was in their place to talk to him, so I'm not going to fault them for that. But the way they did handle it, while probably not the best way, was oh so satisfying. Alright, onwards to the second story. This was a few years ago, but here goes. My crew had been searching for a DM for years. Finally, one gets found. He makes his own adventure for us and lets us make our own characters, D&D 3.5, with no limitations. We had a Rakshasa, sentient mushroom, and a quickling in the party, for f***'s sake. We checked and double-checked that what we were doing was fine. Our party was charisma heavy and talked our way out of a lot of battles, infuriating the DM. We convinced a possessed paladin to kill himself. I made an assassin do the walk of shame, intimidated a dragon into leaving us alone, made a pop-up brothel, the list goes on. We were having a blast. He tried limiting us by making it so creatures didn't speak our language. We made it work anyway. Minor illusion and dancing lights go a long way. He focused on killing our cleric a lot, but we always came out on top. Our biggest complaint was that he was shunting us from reality to reality by force. We couldn't settle anywhere. Next encounter was always forced, and we couldn't gather information on anything more than passing. I'm not sure we would have been able to rest if not for the magnificent mansion. It was grating, to be honest. Then, one day he'd had enough. We found the big bad evil guy. It was a kill box. Most of the monsters had death touch, disintegrate, were way above our level, and going back also meant death. Everyone died. A total party kill in less than 2 hours of session start for the day. I forgot to mention his adamant claim that it wasn't a kill box. I was just reminded. Not the worst horror story, but for us, it was awful. End post. I would dream to have these players in my game. This sounds amazing. I get that the DM really preferred combat, but how could you not like some of the things they were doing? A pop-up brothel? Somehow convincing an assassin to do a walk of shame? Like, this sounds amazing. Honestly, the combat's really just as a backdrop for D&D. It's a means to an end. You have a big bad evil guy somewhere in the world that you need to stop, and that's your goal in the end. But how you get there is really your own choosing, and role-playing your way through every situation just sounds like such a fun way to go about things. Yeah, I don't know what that guy was thinking. Anyhow, that's all for today's stories. As always, the source of them is going to be in the description below. And if you liked the video and you want to see more videos just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon to be notified. And while you're at it, if you'll also hit that like button next to them just to let the YouTube algorithm know, that'd be doing me a great favor as it's going to help push the video to more audiences. Alright, and while you wait for a new video to come out from my channel, here are a few related videos you can watch in the meantime.